You are listening to the Fashion Guru Podcast with your host, Bill Daly, your fashion guru.
Welcome, everyone, to the Fashion Guru Podcast. I am Bill Daly, and I'm super excited to get started at guiding you all through another episode today. We're going to be talking about keeping up with fashion without being overwhelmed. It just might be easier than you think. I want to point out that although my audience is 90% guys, today's topic will be helpful to women as well. Style in the fashion world has many parallels for both men and women. As a matter of fact, for any of you ladies listening or watching this podcast, you have to follow an Instagrammer, and her handle is at High Society Elegance. It's high_society_elegance. She is a digital creator in fine art, luxury, elegance, and sophistication. If you want to know how to dress elegantly well, then this is the site for you. It will also be listed in resources for this podcast. You see, that outfit that she's wearing on that site, or those outfits that the different women are wearing on that site, are amazingly stylish, simple and elegant. The best part is they were beautiful 20, 30, 40, even 50 years ago, and they will be in fashion that many years from now. For those of you who have been with us for a while, thank you for your loyalty. And we trust you're getting what you need from our little podcast. If you are a first-time listener, thank you for joining us. If you like what you hear, please like and follow, and please come back. And whether you are a first-time listener or you are a faithful follower, please share this podcast with your friends on all of your socials. Many thanks in advance. Now, months and months before each new year begins, fashion forecasters, vendors, and fashion designers around the world are already giving sneak peeks and teasing about what is coming in the year ahead. Think about it in terms of concept cars in the automotive industry. First of all, the Color Marketing Group is an organization that selects colors for most industries months ahead of time. I think it's important to mention a little bit about them. The Color Marketing Group is the premier international association for color design professionals. And the current president is Peggy Van Allen of Cary, Illinois. Their mission is creating accurate and relevant color and trend forecast information by connecting global color professionals in their shared passion. Their forecasts touch literally every industry around the globe who uses color in some way, shape, or form. The Pantone Institute is equally important. The Pantone color of the year is more than a color, though. It is a temperature reading of the current cultural context, and according to the group. The 2024 color of the year, I was a little bit surprised when I saw it, but nonetheless, they know more than I do, is called Peach Fuzz, number 131023. You can read all about it on their website at www.pantone.com. Now, if you were to watch the runways, read the blogs, watch the latest fashion shows, or peruse the celebrities on TV, you may be a bit confused as to what you need to do to adjust your wardrobe and change up your style for the coming year. Well, I'm here to tell you that you may or may not have to do anything. You see, style is what you do with fashion. What I mean by that is style is something you create to say something about who you are. I bet you didn't realize you had that kind of influence over yourself, did you? Well, if you only wear what other people wear all the time, you begin to lose yourself, and that alone can make for a pretty lonely existence. Now, I'm not suggesting that some of the things you wear aren't influenced by others. Pinterest is used all the time. I've used Pinterest many times when I'm trying to put different things together. and to be able to have a visual of how that works outside of these eyeballs, because I don't have the feedback that I can give when I'm looking at somebody else. In the writing world, if you copy someone word for word, it is what? Plagiarism. And there are penalties and consequences for doing so. Well, copying someone's fashion when you're putting on an outfit doesn't carry any major consequences and can even be flattering to the person you're copying. However, you're not attending a costume party and it could come back to embarrass you as well. How many times have you seen on a TV show where, or it's happened in real life in some cases, where two ladies show up in the exact same dress, pretty much worn exactly the same way, perhaps as it was displayed on the mannequin at Macy's or whatever the department store where it was purchased. Personally, I have several gentlemen who I follow on the socials whose personal style I admire very much. Not everything they wear would look good on me, but looks great on them. I may take a single piece or a few pieces they are wearing and pair it with something completely different that I have in my wardrobe to capture a similar feel. If I do it correctly, the pieces I use make me look more like me, not them. Does that make sense? Let's look a little bit further into this. So, when I talk about personal style, I'm referring to what you wear that makes you feel good, regardless of what you think other people think. Because here's a little news flash: most people aren't thinking about you at all. There is a new freedom in being yourself on purpose. That being said, I am always open to new ideas or rules of fashion and continually tweak and refine my personal style. In season one, I talked about a must have book called Dressing the Man by Alan Flusser. And I would also recommend another book called Cary Grant, A Celebration of Style. The foreword is by Giorgio Armani and the afterword by Michael Kors, two staples in the fashion industry, to be sure. It is in these books you will learn a lot about classic style. My own personal style found its genesis here as well. I am a sucker for the classics. It is the most versatile and tenured style ever. Cary Grant was one of the male fashion icons who brought this to light as early as 1932 when he moved to Hollywood and began his acting career. And he's most known for how he puts on an outfit and his classic dress and that whole iconic thing. And you can go back as far as you like and still see the classic styles over and over and over again. And quite frankly, they still look great today. Why classic, you ask? When I'm talking to a gentleman client about creating a bespoke or custom suit for their wardrobe, one of the first questions I ask is, how long do you plan on wearing the piece? I ask that important question because it influences the direction I will guide them in designing the perfect piece. You see, classics will look good for years if you take care of them. Knowing that, you actually don't have to be concerned with this year's trends or that year's trends because you're already set. Let's talk about accessories. So, once we have a suit and we've spent some money on a particular suit and we want to change things up a bit, we don't necessarily need to change the suit. We can just change the accessories that we add. So if your suits are created with tenure in mind, then the only thing you need to do is change the shoes, the shirt, the tie, perhaps a waistcoat, or the accessories, whether that be belts, braces, or some call it suspenders, jewelry like bracelets and watches, tie bars and collar bars, cufflinks, lapel pins, pocket squares, cravats and ascots, and socks. Of course, you don't need to wear all of them at the same time, nor do I recommend it. But if you change up the accessories from time to time, you change the outfit without changing the suit. By purchasing these additional items, you offer the wardrobe tremendous versatility and save some coin at the same time. Many of the men I collaborate with have a distinctive style that I have become accustomed to recognizing. I have also done the same thing. I'm very intentional about what I wear with minimal deviations. As of the taping of this uh, podcast, I participate in a Facebook group and a project called the Color Wheel Project 2024 by Lauren J. Fields, whereby we dress according to the color wheel. First couple of weeks was primary colors. This week and last week, using secondary colors in the outfit to change things up. On my last podcast, I talked about what some of the prognosticators said, that it's going to have more of a drab, Mad Men sort of color way. I tend to disagree. I've never felt that even if you're wearing classic colors in the grays and blacks or tans or what have you, that you are drab in any way when you are dressing classically, for sure. Consistency is key, but we'll be willing to throw in a few surprises from time to time just to keep them guessing, like I have with a rich orangey golden pocket square by Lauren Fields herself. I've got some greens and some violets, including my waistcoat that is violet to pair with a Ralph Lauren gray suit, and it all works out just great without being too crazy. My style specifically. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. It has been an evolution from when I originally started. Everything was pretty much basic pieces. I went through a low spot in my life and I was thrifting, but that's where I got to play without spending a lot of money. And I would go to thrift shops and I would find Armani suits. I would find Canali suits and ties. I would, Brioni, all kinds of different things. I guess the right person has to move on, or they have to lose some weight, or they have to gain some weight, or whatever, and they pass their articles along. We simply dry clean it, much like washing the towel at the Ritz Carlton, and you're good to go. But that's how I learned. And most people who know me today, it's totally different. Well, almost everything is custom that I'm adding to my wardrobe that I create under my own label. But most people who know me recognize my style today because I've been doing it for years and years. As of March 15th, I went through a entire 3-year project where I never wore the same outfit twice. Seems like, oh my gosh, how can you have over 1,000 suits to be able to do that? Well, you don't have to, and we've talked about that on the podcast. We'll continue to talk about it in the episodes ahead, that if you have the right pieces, you can change them out. And this particular topic of accessories and so forth can do just that very affordably. But my favorite suit is a 2-piece suit with peak lapels and room for a waistcoat. I love the extra ticket pocket on the right side above the main flap pocket. Functional buttonholes on the sleeves and lapel. Double vent, custom lining, sometimes noisy. People know I use lots of picturesque linings that work well with a particular suit based on color. It could be Marvel heroes. It could be a lot of different things. But nonetheless, linings are a great place to play because people don't see them unless you open up your jacket or what have you. The slacks are always flat front with a side adjustment. Waistbands always have a gripper to keep the shirt in and tight, and buttons for braces when I choose to wear them. The trousers always have a tasteful taper, and 90% of the time I have a 2-inch cuff or 5-centimeter cuff. It's a little wider than normal, but I prefer the finer wools and weights that I can wear 3 to 4 seasons. That's a good point too, is, I have a few suits that are more of a winter weight, almost a flannel feel, a heavy grammed product, but I can't in my part of the country, in the Midwest. I can't wear that in the heat of the summer, sometimes the heat of the spring or fall either, and it shortens up the opportunities that I have to wear them. Much like a summer linen suit, I'm not going to be wearing in December or anything like that. So I try to find lighter wools, super 110s to 150s, and just extremely good quality fabric in a lighter weight. And it gives me the opportunity, if I'm colder, I can put on a waistcoat, I can put a t-shirt, on to warm up, whatever. But it gives me a look that I'm really, really happy with. The trousers that I wear um, are almost always very, very similar because I like the fit that I get from them. So I duplicate that over and over and over again. I haven't expanded into wearing pleated pants as of yet. Of course, we did a couple of decades ago, or even a decade ago, but I prefer the flat front. It's a little tighter without being skinny jeans sort of feel. I don't like that as well either. Um, my socks can be refined, but often make a statement and always pair well with the tie or other accessories. Today, they are a violet color with a light blue polka dot to be able to marry up with the color wheel project that I'm doing today, and it pairs nicely with my waistcoat as well. A pocket square is a must. I've got the one I spoke of just a minute ago. I always have in that pocket. I think quite frankly, I think the suit looks undone when it doesn't have a pocket square in it. If it has a pocket, most of them do. Every now and then I'll see one on each side. I don't prefer that or like that, but it's to each his own, right? Um, I would never wear a blazer or sport coat without a pocket square either, even if I'm pairing it with a short sleeved t-shirt style shirt or a dress shirt or what have you with a pair of jeans. I still have a pocket square. It's a great way to add a little bit of color, definitely style and sophistication, and that's just part of my shtick. People would not recognize, they'd notice it immediately if I did not wear a pocket square. I wear them that consistently. My shirts are always pressed and crisp. I prefer a French cuff with some custom links. I love the tab collar, but wear the point collar often so I can pair it with a collar bar. My knot of choice is usually a 4 in hand, unless I choose a wide spread collar in which I use a half Windsor to fill that gap a little bit more. I never wear button down collars with double breasted or peak lapels. It's just something I don't do. I see it out there. Just fine, just not my profession. Now, I save the best for last because the shoes can absolutely make or break your outfit. Most guys treat their shoes like an afterthought, and it shows. Nothing worse than to see a man with a nice suit and a beat up, unpolished, ill matched pair of shoes. My friend Levi Elliott, who is a world shoe shine champion, would obviously agree. Alternatively, you can wear a moderately handsome suit or suit coat with some shoes that are stunning, well polished, and prepared, and pull it all together. So, shoes are pretty darn important. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. My favorite shoes have to be the double monk or single monk version, monk strap. There's something about them that just make me happy. I have many pairs for that reason. I also enjoy some brogues or cap toe lace ups if they are just right and well polished. In regards to shoes, I recommend 3 really nice pairs of shoes that are functional and comfortable, especially if you spend all of your day on your feet like I do. They've got to be comfortable. You can always add some inserts or some orthotics or what have you, but you have to take into consideration needing the extra room and buy the sizes accordingly or have them made through a custom shoemaker. But it's really important that you get 3 really nice pairs of shoes. And you can grow to that. You don't have to go out and buy them all at once. But as you're building your wardrobe, think about that. Now, if I could pan the camera around and show you my shoes, you'd be surprised at how many I have. I could go through my rotation um, and not have to wear them more than once a week or once every 2 weeks in some cases. And um, that gets to my next part here. But um, if you're going to get great shoes, you're going to need to shell out somewhere around $250 to $500 a pair at least. But it's worth it because if you take care of your shoes, which if you get good shoes, you can always have them resoled with some welted leather later. Um, I have some shoes with a rubber sole that I'm on when I'm on my feet all day and need to be outside on job sites, construction sites, etc. I'm not tearing up a good one, but I also have some footing in the wintertime. There's all kinds of reasons to do all kinds of different things. But for this description, a nice welted leather sole uh, is best. Pick your style, whatever you like, but include black, brown, and cordovan or cognac, which is a brighter, orangier, light brown that really pairs well with a lot of things. Um, I'm wearing a pair of those today with my outfit, and these will cover just about every outfit you can wear in at least 3 seasons. You know, sometimes in the summer, if you're wearing a white suit, now if you're pairing it with black accessories, you can wear black suit accessories, but you're probably going to be wearing lighter shoes or loafers, and you'll need a specialty shoe for that. Here's a key tip: every time you purchase dress shoes, get some nice cedar shoe trees with it. Every time you buy a nice pair of shoes, not I'll get them someday, because you won't. You're going to spend 15 to 25 bucks on a decent pair through Amazon. If you're interested, I can give you some links and some good spots. But just type in cedar shoe trees. Why cedar? Cedar, just like in a closet, it absorbs odor. It keeps things smelling fresh without being odoriferous. Wipe your shoes down at the end of the day. I've got an old towel that I just have in my closet, and wipe down the shoes. Slide the shoe trees into the shoe to maintain the form and to absorb odor and sweat and whatever your feet get throughout the day, depending upon what you're doing. Set them to the side or on a rack, preferably so that air is all around them. Um, and make sure you keep them polished. Again, as I spoke earlier, there's just nothing worse that, I've polished shoes for people because they've had a nice outfit on and they're all worn out on top, and they look like they tied them on strings and drug them behind a wedding vehicle, bouncing down the street. And it just looks terrible. That would be like investing the money in a Ferrari and putting used tires on it. Pretty much the same effect. You might as well drive a late model Chevy and be on your way. Ladies, if you're still with me, many of the suggestions outlined apply to you too. But no one knows how important shoes can be more than women. And you need to do exactly the same things that I suggested for us men. Shoe trees and how they're put together, keep them clean and wiped down. What I notice most, because a lot of women's shoes have or can be a little smoother finish than guys, because there's not as many embellishments, and there's little black scuffs from bumping into things or what have you. Those can be cleaned off easily, and women's shoes can be polished just like men's shoes. Depending upon what they are. But keeping them clean makes all the difference in the world. People notice when you've taken some time to do that. Now, I've often said that I prefer custom and bespoke suits, as they are the best investment you can have in your fashion lineup. But if you have a limited budget, spend as much as you can to get the best that you can. And an off the rack jacket or trousers are okay too, because you're doing it for a specific reason. And I have some off the rack items as well. I didn't throw everything away when I started doing custom. There's, but the most important thing about off the rack, be prepared to spend 30, 50, sometimes 7,500, depends on your tailor or alterations person on tailoring. Um, Off the rack is one size fits most. So if I'm as a man, if I buy a 41 regular, it may fit me great through the shoulders and the armholes, but the sleeves could be a little long or a little boxy in the midsection because that's the cut of the jacket that I liked. There's all different tapers and everything we can get into on another episode, but prepare to do a little bit of tailoring so it fits just right. There's nothing worse than wearing a suit that doesn't fit. It's like, you borrowed your dad's jacket and it shows. So fit is one of the pillars of fashion and style. Alan Flusser talks about it in his book, Dressing the Man. It's important. The rest is up to your imagination. Once you've determined the style for you, your next steps are an easy and fun way to continue your sartorial journey. I am more than happy to help you in that journey or introduce you to one of my esteemed colleagues who would be happy to do so as well. Now, before I close, I'd like to share something that doesn't get talked about enough in this industry, that part of personal style is also lifestyle, mindset, and different things. In the world of fashion, the mindset, attitude, and intentionality of the wearer play pivotal roles in transforming clothing into a statement of personal style. A positive mindset empowers individuals to experiment boldly with their fashion choices, embracing trends that resonate with their unique sense of self rather than merely following the mainstream. This positivity is crucial in cultivating a style that reflects one's personality and aspirations, turning everyday dressing into a joyful, creative expression. Attitude in fashion is about more than just the clothes. It's about how one carries oneself in them. It's the confidence that comes from aligning one's external appearance with internal truths, whether it's through eclectic, vibrant outfits or understated, chic ensembles. Attitude helps articulate individuality and can dramatically influence how outfits are perceived and experienced. Intentionality is about making conscious choices. It involves selecting pieces that not only appeal aesthetically, but also resonate with personal values such as sustainability or craftsmanship. By choosing fashion consciously, individuals can create a wardrobe that not only looks good, but also tells a story about who they are and what they stand for. Together, mindset, attitude, and intentionality shape a person's fashion narrative. They transform the act of getting dressed into an expression of identity, making style not just what you wear, but a reflection of who you are and how you see the world and yourself within it. We have come to the end of our time together, and I hope you have some takeaways from today's podcast. I could talk about style and fashion all day, but I know I would lose most of you. Ha ha. So I will reserve the rest of my comments for the next episode. Go back to this one and listen again if you mixed anything. I covered a lot of things. I did some lists and so forth. Um, and You can also watch it on our new YouTube channel. Search for the Fashion Guru podcast, and voila, there it is. As we wrap up this episode of the Fashion Guru podcast, I want to remind you of a few things. The main focus of the Fashion Guru podcast is to call men of all ages to a higher level in dressing well in the world by providing new insights, ideas, and examples of how to do just that. We will also showcase endless resources from around the world to help you create the perfect look and develop your own personal style. The second focus is to celebrate all of my friends and trusted colleagues in their fashion related businesses as well. Our job is to connect you to folks who can steer you in the right direction, create a plan, and provide the products and services you need to make your sartorial dreams come true. I often say I would much rather do business with a trusted advisor than a complete stranger. And hopefully, this podcast is a great resource for that. And I learned many, many years ago that you have to give it away to keep it. So anything we can do to support you, the listener, and the watcher, and the professionals we surround ourselves with, we're all in. We've come to the end of our time together, and though it's too soon, there's another episode just around the corner. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Bill Daily Fashion Guru and like and follow our podcast platforms for reminders. You can find us on Spotify, iHeart, Apple, and Amazon, as well as YouTube. If you want to join our mailing list, you can do so by dropping me a note at our new email before, if you have a men's style guru bd at gmail, that one, it's still active, but I'm not using that. We're using a new one called hello at thefashiongurupodcast.com. Please use this and change it in your contacts if you would. I would also love to hear your suggestions for podcast topics, or maybe you know someone who could be a guest on the show. I love doing the split screen and talking to professionals like we did with Brian Klimek last time. It was awesome and an awful lot of fun, and we're definitely going to have that guy back. He's tremendous. If you know someone to be on the podcast, that being said, send me their information or have them DM me on Instagram would probably be the best, or you can do the hello at thefashiongurupodcast.com. That's fine too. And I'll reach out. You can also reach me on Instagram by searching Bill Daily Fashion Guru. I have literally hundreds of fashion posts there as well. If you like to see outfits and so forth, most of them I put on Pinterest. So you can follow me on Pinterest. I've got the two that are probably the most important on there is classic fashion, no surprise, or sharp casual. So maybe you want to pair a jacket with some jeans or not wear ties or what have you. There's some great images there as well. Please follow me there and like what you like and scroll past what you don't. Hey, let's meet here again soon, shall we? The Fashion Guru podcast is recorded in Bettendorf, Iowa, in the US of A. We are produced by Blue House Socials. I appreciate Megan for doing that. And underwritten by Second Chance Productions, Abbey Carpet Gallery, and 111 Ventures, LLC. Please don't forget that life is way too short to wear boring clothes, so dress it up, everybody. I'm out.